Hello, my name is Carlos Camacho, and the topic of this video is descriptive linguistics and the relations between world languages. So, in all of languages, there are some languages that have certain similarities with each other because they have similar origins. For example, there's Roman that has Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese. In my personal experience, I've been able to have a conversation with someone that speaks Portuguese with my Spanish knowledge and the little knowledge I might have on their language. We're able to get ideas across. And most of the time, the words are similar for like these examples right here, like conversación, civilização, civilización. So it's just a kind of a difference in pronunciation, but it's mostly the same idea. So they're able to get their point across. There's also these with languages families. Uh, English, French, German are all part of Proto-Germanic language. That's their root, and it all comes and in different languages as the time passes, as they evolve, and they become their own thing. But they all had their root as the same, and they got different paths across the time. Here are the conceptual maps of all their origins. For example, Latin, and all of those got to the point of what we are, what we have right now in the present time, like Portuguese, Spanish, French, Italian, Romanian. All of these languages have similar words that mean the same. They're just pronounced differently, written differently, but they're so similar that's almost obvious how they have their same origin. 1853, August Schleicher had these language family tree where he made this where all their roots have and how they all come into their own modern language as we know it. Like Slavic, it's all part of Russian, Ukrainian, and the same with Romanic languages. The Sanskrit language is the most uh, ancient one, like recorded, where we have actual evidence of their written form and their 53 uh, letters and how they're structured. There's people that researchers that still study this kind of language, and it's considered the origin of all of them. For example, there's this matra, matter, mother, and you can see how most of these words have their origin and they somehow manage to get to today's standards on different languages. So this language still used for religious purposes besides researches. It was used in India, in China, sort of those countries that are still being used. Now, dead and extinct languages, their main difference is that a dead language is something that's not used, but there's still proof of their existence and they're still somehow able to reproduce that language. For example, Latin or Hebrew. Hebrew, there's a lot of old uh, written form of Hebrew for biblical stories or from the times of Jesus. Those kind of things, you might find them on the Vatican in Rome, and they're still being studied by monks, by priests. Some of them, to become monks, priests, they have to still learn this language like Latin. They're still they give church. They still do some in Latin, even though we don't have like the complete knowledge or mastery on it. There's an effort to not let that language completely be extinct, like these that are mentioned here, like Ejak, Janak, Tunica. All of those were used, but they're only people that still spoke those languages weren't able to pass on, and we don't have any other proof to base our knowledge on those. So it's lost forever. Nobody talks it anymore, and there's no way to study it to be able to reproduce it. Unlike the Hebrew and Latin, where there's still ways to keep learning that. Even though we still miss words, like we don't know exactly what certain characters mean yet, there's the effort that they're not gonna let the language become extinct. Here are some references, and it's a very interesting topic that everyone should be learning, even most of us, especially us that were supposed to become English teachers. Thank you.